sales engineering is a stressful job. Not as stressful as sales potentially, but still stressful. You're having a lot of people telling you what to do, and customers that could be upset with you, could be happy with you. We don't know. Why would anyone want to become VP of anything? Like, why did you want to move up the ranks, and like, how's that affected your life, if any?
Well, I think all of us have a desire to progress, right? And do something more interesting, more challenging, and grow into new areas, right? We're never prepared for the job on day one, right? And it's not that I got in and said, I know exactly what to do, right? But I said, I want to learn to grow in this area and become better at it, you know? What I do think is no matter where we are in the organization, every one of us is a sales guy. Right. When I was doing projects, I thought of myself as a sales guy, saying if I did a good job, right, I am more likely to find out about the next potential deal here than the sales guy is, right? And so pre-sales and sales engineers tend to perhaps develop a better rapport with clients, right? Because they're not out there to go say, push something, close the deal this quarter, right? We coming in more to say, I wonder what their problem is, you know, and I wonder how we can solve it. So it's a very, it brings together lots of different skill sets. So it's a very interesting progression in most people's careers to say, here's something I want to get good at, and I have some skills, but I can bring in other skills and grow into this area. So I'd recommend everyone at some point in their career to be within pre-sales.
Okay, so how did you go up from pre-sales, sales engineer, to like up the ranks? How did you know that you are qualified? A lot of us have like that imposter syndrome, where we're worried about taking the next step. I know when I got a salary raise when I moved from one company to another to become a pre-sales engineer, my wife was worried that I'm getting paid a lot more than I was getting paid in my previous company, which, by the way, I was severely underpaid. So it's not like I became a millionaire overnight. But how did you get over, if you had it? Did you have imposter syndrome? And if you did, how did you get over it?
We all do, right? I haven't heard the term imposter syndrome, but I like it, so I might use it.
Okay, yeah, please go ahead.
I'll give you credit the first time, but then it's my turn.
I heard it from somebody else. So please feel free to use it. Just use it.
Yeah, I think we feel underqualified for certain things, right? Or say, what happens if I'm in such and such situation, right? And I don't know what to do, or you know, there's certain areas I simply have no idea about. You know, I think a good way to start is simply to say my primary skill is learning, right? And say I'm ready to learn, right? I bring in unique perspectives. There are going to be things I know going in that I don't know, right? It's not going to surprise me when I find out there's something I don't know. I don't know a bunch of things, right? It's a given.
Yeah.
Who am I going to fool, right?
Yeah.
As you said, you didn't fool your wife, right? We don't even fool ourselves with this, right? We do know. But we can learn, right? I mean, I'm a chemical engineer by background. I took thermodynamics 3 times. Sales engineering is simpler than that. Okay.
Well, I would disagree with that. I mean, from an intellectual perspective, sales engineering is simpler than thermodynamics, but there is no human aspect to thermodynamics. True. which is what makes sales engineering difficult. It's because we're like those who came from an engineering background. I always wanted to sit in front of a computer and just break stuff because I was a support engineer, right, or build stuff when I was a network design engineer. Right. I never had to talk to a human being and convince them to do something or another.
So I'll give you a funny story, right? When I was doing my undergrad, our 4th year or senior year in college, we had to do something called the BTech project, right? Okay. And it was a year-long project, and then you presented to an audience. And I don't know if the audience had 5 people or 500 people, because I never looked up, right?
Yeah,
I can tell you how many times my shoes lazed around because I kept looking at my shoes, right? But if you do something 100 times or 1,000 times or 5,000 times, you're gonna get better at it, right? There is simply no other way to get better at it than to do it multiple times.